Hello everybody and welcome back. I am Mr. JP and the game is Out of Ore. Thank you all for joining me. Thanks to all the viewers and subscribers and other content creators out there. Devs have done a wonderful job on this game, it's brilliant, but a big thank you to you all for getting involved in playing the game as well. If you haven't got a copy, you need one. It's starting to develop. So, in my last video, depending on which one I decide to upload when I upload all of this, I was getting into hour 2, I filmed hour 2, and as you can see from the hole behind me, there's been a bit of progress since those videos. I've done maybe another 2 hours of digging, cleaned out all of the lithium in that hole, and you can see I've got 4.5 million or so. But a quick thing we need to cover is machinery and refueling. 1. Build a fuel tank. You'll find the fuel tank in the store under buildings and fuel. Hello. So you buy one of those, position it just like any normal block, put it down. Vehicles. Several ways of handling vehicles. 1. Transferring between them. You can jump out and jump into the next one. You can press tab, like so. Or, from anywhere, you can go to the map and select vehicle here in this menu and click drive or send to garage depending on what you want to do. I want to drive the 500. Now, when in a vehicle, when you press Q to bring up the inventory, you get some menu here for vehicle options. Also in here is where you install lights, GPS, that kind of thing. At the top here, you'll see siphon fuel, which would allow me to drink all the fuel out of that roller over there, the compactor, or refuel from fuel station. You'll see as these highlight, there's a little diamond flicking between the fuel station. It's just on the right hand end there when I'm over it, and then it's over the vehicle. So it highlights which one. Just click refuel from fuel station, and if you've got the money, in the fuel will go. Job's a good one. Now for the meat of the video. Because I've done all this and got to this point, this is really dug out. So what I'm going to go to the map, I'm going to send both these vehicles to the garage. And I'm going to demolish everything. So to demolish, press button 6, press button 7, and it will highlight the demolish. Get used to clicking those. And I'm just going to go along all of this and just demolish it all, like that. Doesn't matter if you miss bits, because go back along it anyway. Because the meat of this video is going to be the full machine, the big tamale we are getting out of this section of the mine. It's time to move on. You can only mine for so long in one place before, well, there's nothing left to mine. So yeah, we are moving. And building a more advanced style of machine. So there's two ways really of going with this game. One is conveyors and production. And the other way is still conveyors and production, but getting the finished product or unrefined products up here is a dumper truck job. And going to be honest, all the time you're driving a dumper truck, you could be digging the hole. So that's the way I look at it and why I go with the conveyor option. But I will be doing some roleplay stuff and building some more example buildings that look a lot more beautiful than the kind of thing I'm building at the moment. So realistically, I do have a beautiful piece in my soul. It's just most of my soul is crafted by Rio Tinto, I'm sorry. Just the way these things go down. You know, you do not want to be an Aboriginal cave near me when I get the explosives out. I should stop making jokes about that. I'm probably insulting loads of Aborigines in Australia. I am really sorry, guys. Like, I'm going to be honest, I think what Rio Tinto did is actually a travesty. And should not have happened. Very irresponsible behaviour from a very large company. They should have at least followed some rules. But hey, that's big business. So yeah, what we're doing here is I'm extending this sort of gantry rig. I'm going to need some more of those. No, I use the hoppers to start things off on quite a lot of my rigs, so I'm going to put 12 of them just so I've got enough all the time. Likewise, these cubes I don't use so many of. There is something weird going on. Sorry about that. I've just been interrupted by a very high-pitched squealing from outside my room. Got the window open, it's a nice night. I'm assuming something crazy is going on out there. Hope it's not a car break-in, but it doesn't sound like my car alarm, so why worry? But if I think it's on my territory, I will be dropping the mic, disappearing, and if you hear gunshots, well, you might want to phone them an ambulance or something, because I don't do trespassers, don't like them. The old Englishman's home is castle thing. So I'm actually going for a slightly bigger machine than I normally build here. So yeah, we got 5 runs in there. So need some of those. Definitely a case of if I'm got my own mine in Australia or something like that, it's definitely a case of stay off my land, chase you down with a pitchfork. That'd be a bit of fun. Multiplayer version of this game where you try and steal each other's pitches, run around with shotguns. Maybe I should play some shooting games, get it out of my system. But okay, so once these shoot ends are positioned, it's pretty much copy it 5 times across sort of thing. I'll replace those later when I'm redecorating the place. Yeah, I'll go one more. Just judging where I need to start what I'm about to do. On 1. So I've got 6. I happen to know that to get down to the bottom there, because I have done this before, I need 175 conveyor ups. This is where the big bill of building this machine comes in. This is why I stayed up the top and hunted all of that lithium. You're limited to 99. Means I need another 76, minus that, 71. So yeah, say goodbye to the best part of the mill to build this, but it's well worth it. In the map controls, you can change the weather, and if you slide the bar to the different points like clear sky, light clouds, it'll actually stay locked there. So that gives you control of the weather. I live in sunny UK. And this summer hasn't exactly been sunny, so I'm getting my doses of vitamin D from computer games. I'm not playing any computer game where it rains. I will have my sunny summer. So when constructing, you'll see the squares on all of the conveyors and stuff, and if you look at the end sort of 2 squares, it'll try and build it onto the end, and you just click. And down I will go. It doesn't matter, trees going through it, not a problem. The conveyors will still function, just doesn't look very pretty. I'll be solving that a bit later on, and going to be honest with you, my conventional attitude to most problems is that there are no problems that you cannot solve with enough high explosive. These trees are an example of that. So I'll be going back through those a bit later on once I hit level 22, which is the objective of the next exercise. And that's why we're going all the way down here and expending an awful lot of conveyors. You might think I'm crazy, but consider this the big lift shaft of a mine. If this was a big underground mine with a vertical shaft, this would be the vertical shaft. In this case, it's the lift out of what I call the Valley of Coal. Because down here there is an epic load of coal seams. They're everywhere. Mind them how you like. I've got my plan for what I'm going to do that I never actually got to fruition because of the restarts I was doing due to the development testing. But now we're not doing restarts, it's going to get good, and you can build these things quite fast once you get practiced. It really doesn't take long. I'm expecting an hour and I'll have a working machine down here. Another hour or so will give me a working 5 machines, and with 5 machines on the go, things are going to get snooty fast, is the idea. Quick look at the map, I think. Just check something over. So yeah, you can drag the map around by clicking with the left mouse. And just having a look at where I normally end up going in. That's definitely the area I want. Alright, need some more bits. Gonna use them later, so may as well have them now. I'm in a bit of a rush, otherwise I would get down here with a loader and dig this out. It's got coal in it, but gonna be honest, I'm in a hurry. We're on film here. So unlike Blue Peter, where we could just magic another one out, or one that we made earlier, which I suppose I could have done. Could have built a save and done it that way. But we'll just, I suppose could have filmed it all and done it as a montage. Ooh, yeah, we need a montage. But this is a demonstration of how you can use the hand tools if you need to do some land tidying up, but don't perhaps have the time as a gamer. After all, it's a sandbox game and it is flexible, so I guess this is the idea of them. So you can do stuff like this. It does mean you can tunnel quite effectively by hand, which is kind of handy. Allows you to do things you wouldn't normally be able to do, such as this. Since it's all topsoil, I really don't care about it. So all I'm doing is holding down shift and just walking sideways and just carving the landscape out. Any trees that you leave floating on rocks and stuff should disappear the next time you load the save, so if they don't, rebuild the ground under them with a bucket load from a loader and blow it up with explosives or ram it, one of the two. There are ways and means. So, having sorted that out, clunk, clunk. Go to the store, get me some more conveyor up action. Got 15 of them for the moment. I was only going to do one run of this and film it, but looks like we're doing the whole thing. See how quickly I can build one of these. Straight through a lithium deposit, but it's only a little one, so won't really worry about that. Do I put the second drop on it I'm thinking of? Yeah, what the hell. In for the penny, in for the pound. We've already dug out nearly enough for it, so. And the lower these are, the better off I am for another part of the system. And it means I get to explore the size of this lithium deposit that I've always looked at but never dug out. And now I know that it really wasn't worth the effort. I'm glad I hadn't bothered. Likewise, I mean, if you're playing creative, explosives can speed this process up quite a lot. Is another way of doing it. The only reason I'm doing it is because I want my other machinery to be near the ground. Makes it easier to build. So, just marshal it. There'll probably be more cutting away of this in a bit. I'll just get that one in there. Now, interesting thing about the conveyors, you'll probably see me putting conveyors into the bottom of these, and then you'll realise I'm using them as hoppers. And the fact of the matter is that the conveyors and the hoppers are similar in that they both absorb material through the top. And it's a little unrealistic in my opinion. At the same time, it's a game mechanic that is there for a reason, because without it you wouldn't be able to use tunnelers. As we will see later on when I unlock the tunnelers. I do like a bit of tunnelling, by the way. It's not the most efficient way of mining, but it is nice. Varies up the gameplay. And it's at a stage where in the tier tree they're up at level 40. Big loaders are at level 37. Explosives are at level 22. You see, I'm just starting to rub the pay dirt there now. So there's a bit of coal. There's a few bits and pieces down there. But all I'm doing here is just saving myself a bit of time and work later. I could probably stop doing it, but I want to give you guys the impression of what you can do by just hand digging fast. So 20 minutes in, we've got 40 minutes left. Got plenty of time to build this. You can see why I wanted to come down here and dig this coal out. There's quite a bit of coal down here. But it'll still be here just a bit further down. That's a mistake. There we go. Open some of that out. Might be making an error by going in so low with these, but never mind. No, my luck, I'll probably be extending. conveyors left to do. Not too much, okay. The one thing about using conveyors as hoppers is you want to make sure they're clear of the surrounding terrain. If they're not, they can give you a bit of trouble. Okay, so having done that, these are the basis of the collection hoppers for each run up. So this is the sump of everything else, as it were. So what we'll do is just expand this hole slightly. Buy some more of those. Steel blocks, because I'm going to need them. Right. Get that up to there. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That accounts for the conveyors in the line. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the wash plant. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and 10 should account for a sorter, 2 sorters. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Is another conveyor. 1, 2, 3, 4 is another conveyor. One more for the spacing and one there, which means I can start my conveyor run for the machines there. Like that. Right, let's see how this works out. So, going to need another one of those. Since this is going to be the full machine, I'm going to need another conveyor sorter. I'm going to need a jaw crusher. And I'm going to need the fractioner, because this is the way I'm going on it. I'm going to need conveyor storage as well. I'm not going to be using the trommel, and I'm not going to be using the cone crusher, because the cone crusher takes crushed rock and outputs gravel, whereas if you use the fractioner instead, that takes crushed rock and outputs either gravel, magnetite, copper, bauxite or rhodium. And level, interesting. Okay, see what that means. That looks like a change in the last update. So here I'm going to put in a sorting drum, and out the bottom is going to come dirt and pay dirt, and out the top will come the crushable items. How was I building this before? I think it was building like that. And I need some more right turns as well. Yeah, that'll work. Go with this. And because you can attach parts anywhere in the second 2 blocks, that just goes straight on like that. Couldn't even see what I was doing, but I know that it's going to be on there. So wash plant comes down to that. Goes through the other conveyor sorter, and this is a part that you don't necessarily need. Depends whether you want to trade the dirt that you're producing in or not. It's that one's up to you really. I prefer putting the dirt off into a storage medium because it's not worth much. Doesn't get you any level XP, and it's a good way of recording how much you've dug when everything else has been sold, so I kind of go with it that way. Right, this row of blocks is now in the way, so get rid of these. And stuck under the fracture. There we go. Okay. Something to be remembered about this processing equipment is it all really needs to be built in a row, one piece after the other. You can't cut a piece out in the middle of a run and put it back in. Kind of messes up things. So, something to be remembered there, people. But yeah, so having done this, how am I going to arrange this machine? Just think about what I'm going to do here. Yeah, I'll go with it like this. So some more of those. Go that one that way. Go with that one that way. Have I actually managed to line this up correctly? Yeah, I did. Excellent. Looks strange. Right. How's about this side? Not really liking the way that's arranged. So instead go with the ramp up for the fractioner. Put that in that way. Put that in that way. Go with that. I like it. Okay. Wait for the autosave to finish its thing. Autosave's finished its thing. See whether the video jumped or not there. That'll be an interesting one. And then here it's just a matter of building sort of standard hopper. So, and you can build hopper and block components pretty much through everything, but you've got to bear in mind that you might not be able to see the spot that you want to build because of the ground that's in the way. Sometimes you have to do a little bit of smoothing or just get a little bit creative on how you're aligning, and everything's cool. Do it like this one. As you track the mouse sideways as well, you'll sometimes run off of the node you're trying to layer, which can be annoying, but it's pretty easy to get around. So just figuring out how to get to where I want to build something. There we go. just going to take out all of the sort of block scaffolding that I've been using there. You can actually see it to remove it. And a little bit more removal at that end because it looked like the terrain was touching the conveyor, and that I don't like. So now I should have a fully up and working machine. And so the correct order for machinery is a hopper in, which this represents for the moment, one sorting drum, which splits at the top and at the bottom. The bottom is for the dirt and the pay dirt, which goes through the wash plant. That goes into another sorting drum and then out and up. And on this side, this here is the output from the second sorting drum. And the second sorting drum is there just to extract the dirt. And so that will be going into this conveyor storage medium. Conveyor storages are interesting. You put them on, you press E to open them, and they've got contents. You can drag the contents out of here into your inventory, and to sell things, just go to the store, click on the sell box over in this corner, and from here you can sell vehicles, and you can sell components from your inventory. You just drag them across like that, because I don't want this woodwork anymore. And then, somewhere there should be a sell button. Ah yeah, you can't do it from that. What I've just done is put those components in the container. My bad. Once you take stuff out of the container, press Q when not looking at the container, go to the store, click on the sell button. Drop it into the sell box. There we go. Click sell items, job done. Easy when you're in the right menu. The first sorter goes out of the top and it goes through and into the jaw crusher. The jaw crusher takes rock and it turns it into crushed rock, which the fractioner can handle. The fractioner converts crushed rock into gravel and other rich stuff, which goes round this corner and out through here. So both come out and into here. Ooh, don't like the looks of that. And so pretty much the next phase of this build will be to copy this machine across here 5 times. And the way of doing this so that you don't screw up, because it is easy to screw up, so I'll just demonstrate the next stage of what I'm going to be doing here. Whether I actually do it at the height I'm doing it is another question, but for the moment we'll bear with what I'm doing here as the way to go. So what I'm going to do is quickly press Q, go to the map. Maybe it's not in there anymore. Oh, there it is. So this is time-lapse recorder, and it is a quick way of getting an aerial view. You can see on the right-hand side of the screen there's a black area, sort of darker area, just centered up now. That's one coal seam. Over there's another, and through this part of the hillside, as you go in that direction towards the coal plant, it is when you exit the time lapse, you end up miles away from where you were, people. Interesting thing to note, that's also made my computer go nuts. So, on the map, you can actually see that these dark patches, they do show up. See, there's one there. And as you go up the hill towards this place, I know, for instance, that there is, sure, see where I've dug in there, one in here, and then out this way you can see just the edge of a patch there. There's another one there centered on the screen. So I want to go into this hill somewhere along the lines of where I am now. So that's kind of good. So yeah, I think I'll go in one more and then take the turn that way. Put in a single straight, and then I want a set of these. Tunk, 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 tunk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I need the hoppers back out here. This is why I bought all those hoppers. They are so useful for beginning the machine runs. Now, you probably remember back at the start me going two along, two along, two along at the other end on the lift lines. Reason for that: 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Delete the hoppers. They have done their job. Easier to do from above because the wreckage doesn't get in your way. And then you can just add on to this end. You can add on to either end of a single component and build a complete line, but you can't cut one of these out and join it back in. Otherwise it will leak and you'll end up with piles. And piles aren't good in any situation. So 1, 2, and then I need the turn. And then it's 1, 2, and then I need the turn. 1, 2, 1, 2. You're getting the idea. You just space these out by 2 each time. And it should be that by doing this is the first 5-way I've made, by the way. I've never made a 5-way one before, so hopefully I'm not making a mess of it. No, I don't think I'm making a mess of it. Let's check that I've got, yeah, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's like that crummy rap song. How did that go? 2, 1, 2? Something like that. Some crazy chick. That looks like it's quite well lined up. And so this is why I bought 99 of these earlier. I knew I was going to be expending a few straight conveyors. And what this should do is line these up one block back from each other. So you'll find in places you'll either have to add an extra conveyor to the machine as you build it this way, or add an extra conveyor to the exhaust hopper. It doesn't really matter which way you go with it. Another way of building this is to build all the machines exactly the same length and level over the exit hoppers, and then to offset these corners you have to build a ramp and sort of like a conveyor over the top and the hopper, and that allows you to align to any block that you want to. It's a good way of getting rid of a misalignment if you've already built a giant machine and you're not happy about where it's sat. Didn't really want to fall off of those, but doesn't matter, you can get back on them. As you can see, over the top of where I'm building this machine there is actually a really large coal seam. You see it just down there underneath me now, that darkened area, and that's what you're looking for on the coal map. You're looking for those sort of darkened seams. That's me out of straights already? Man, this is getting insane. Another 500,000 gone. But it's alright, because the actual equipment that I need to finish off the processing is fairly cheap. The big expense is in these conveyors, and I'm probably going to invest another 1 million in them to finish off what I'm doing here. But I'll probably finish that off in the next episode. Coming up on 40 minutes, quite a long time for everyone to concentrate. So I'll get this finished off camera, and in the next episode you can see the finished effect of 4 parallel machines, the finished effect of this fully functional death station. Or retrieval system. But yeah, once this beast gets going, it gets insane quite quickly as to how much it can actually eat. Need some more conveyor ups. Another 12 of them for the moment. So yeah, and literally you can just look at which component you've laid on that first one and just copy this machine across 5 times. That's all you have to do. You can build it any way you like, you can crowd it together, you can up and down these a little more to separate them, a few different things. So I'm going to need 4. 8 sorters. I'm going to need 4 jaw crushers. Going to need 4 wash plants. Going to need 4 fractioners. Not going to need any more storage because that's all going to run one into the other. Which should... So yeah, you can literally... There's a sorter there, sorter there, sorter there. And the problem with stuff being high up in the air is you end up having to jump to install things, but it's get roundable. I can install the wash plants and use them as ramps to get up there to install the left and the right hand turns on the top one, so I need another wash plant. So yeah, it can be a little awkward with the wash plant, with the wash plant straight on the sorting drums like this. But to get round it, you just sort of look at the plant rather than clicking on the wash plant, and it gets around the problem. And as I say, you can pretty much see quite a distance for laying these, so having it too far above you isn't too much of a problem. Very handy when constructing the decorative side of things. Because I do over there. Yeah, I did go up. Thought I might have done. Always with the tool stuff. But as you say, construction, you can see it really doesn't take that long. A lot of people have got a bit of a downer on the construction side of this game, but it really isn't too severe in my opinion. Doesn't take too long, fairly intuitive. However, starting to have my suspicions. I keep on having to buy more parts. Why? I have one machine running too many. Okay, that'll be an interesting experiment. Or I could just erase it now and save myself a lot of trouble later. I do not want 6 of you. I wondered why I kept on having one part too short. One, 2, 3, 5, yeah. Definitely don't want 6, 5 is enough. 5 is definitely enough. Right. So, where did I get to? Conveyor sorters, I believe. There's a fractioner that needs to go on there. As I say, these conveyor sorters that I'm putting on now on the end of the wash plants, they really aren't perhaps necessary, but they are kind of handy. So yeah, this is the profit out from the wash plant, and it needs to drop over that conveyor, which it does, which is cool. As I say, you quite often end up digging out conveyors and adjusting them. It happens. Like there. This just isn't going to work out so well unless I clear some more. And it's worth clearing that bit more, so. Just make it easier to build in the long run, stop it clogging. Because clogging can be a problem. And so, yeah, we've got the conveyor up. And we've got a right, and we've got a left, and we've got a set straight. Awesome. That was nearly a jump too far. All good. Always check your alignments as you're going along and make sure everything's going together properly, because I have built entire machines and realised something's not in line and it doesn't work, and yeah, my OCD got driven scatty, and it wasn't a good day in the park. So yeah, that can happen. And always make sure you've finished your machine before you start running stuff through it, because I've done that too. Thought I'd finished the machine, came back from a break, and hadn't finished the machine, hadn't put any other hoppers in or anything, and things were going bad, very bad. Was not a good day. How am I best going to run that? Just reconsidering my life choices through here. That, okay. Not often that I use a conveyor down, but these waste channels are the one place where it is a grand idea. I'm a fool, that will work just the way it was. Now you wouldn't have believed it, but when I clicked those it actually laid the components, and as you can see they are here. So you can actually build conveyors straight underground without really knowing where you're going, but you can't click the next component on unless you can see them, so you end up digging lots of like little manholes at the next junction and the next junction. I prefer to clear them all so that I can see what I'm doing. And it just looks that little bit neater and tidier, which isn't really that important in a mining game where you're making Rio Tinto look like saints. But, you know, apparently land restoration might become a thing later on. Who knows? Personally, I don't see it happening. What you've dug is sort of the progress of the game. And the thing about the hand digging is, whilst it does get you there, it doesn't earn you anything. So that's to be remembered. I like it, but I don't. See how these go in. Oh. I can go with that. That looks pretty alright. Yeah, we can live with that one. Now the problem with having 5 machines tipping out like that is it all goes into one hopper. This I didn't consider. That I also didn't consider. Right. Deeper. I know what happens with these dirt hoppers. Deeper. Later on you'll see what I mean. Assuming it's still in the game, of course. But there can be certain occasions where a dirt hopper like this can cause you some serious stuck. $53, not long left. So some of this may well be incomplete, but you'll get the gist of what I'm doing. So, I need to save and reload and get rid of some of the trees anyway. To avoid any hopper-based shenanigans, I'll be using conveyor at the bottom of this hopper too. So I'll be building a hopper around the edge of that, and put a conveyor up in here, which I can't see the end of. There it is. Conveyor up in there to the storage box, and that will do the waste. So waste material will come out of these and be jettisoned into these conveyors and out into that waste box. So from this position here, you'll be able to look along all of these and see all of the rich stuff being poured out into these waste ends, which should be staggered. Sorry, you know what I was saying about checking alignments and making sure everything was okay? Yeah, okay. So I've got to build some hoppers now and do some other bits and pieces. However, I'll quickly run over how the machine works again, just for those who might have missed it. Stuff comes in along these conveyors here, it goes up into this sorter. It is divided into rock and powder. So dirt and pay dirt come down the bottom, they go through the wash plant, into the next sorter. Dirt goes out the bottom and the rich stuff goes to the exit hopper. Rich stuff from the jaw crusher and fractioneer side goes up, round and also out to the exit hopper. The dirt runs along these conveyors under here, drops out into this hopper and will be collected in that storage box. I'm going to have a nice observation platform here so that I can walk across all of these hoppers and have a nice little look, see at all the rich stuff falling out. And yeah, so I'm going to wrap that up there. Thanks for joining me and putting up with what has been an hour-long machine build. And hopefully in the next episode you'll see the reason I've done all this, and it's a good reason. This thing hauls ass. So thanks for joining me, everyone. Cheers for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it educational. I'll be going over more aspects of the game in the next episodes, and hopefully by covering everything again and again like I do, I should cover everything, and by repeating it all the time it should give you plenty of places to pick up the data during the videos. So big love to all the other YouTube creators, big up to the dev, done a great job on the game. Thanks to all you guys. Subscribe, like, comment, do what you like, it's YouTube. The rest of us do. So thanks very much. Have a great evening. Bye for now.